Um, Hello everyone, this is a tutorial showing you how to answer some past exam questions. I've got question 1, question 2, 3, and question 3. So we'll be going through this, but we'll start with question 1 for this video. Now let me play this first. I hope you figure it out. It says, let me start afresh. Enter a distance, let's say 10. Now you don't have to say kilometers or anything like that. Yeah, you say 10, for example. Yeah, and then how many passengers? If it says just one passenger, it gives you the fare. So I think now you figure it out. It's a taxi company. Now in this question, this is how they set it. I'll show you. Question 1 is about a taxi company. Write a Python program that allows a taxi company to calculate how much taxi fare should be. The program should 1. Allow the user to enter the journey distance in kilometers. No validation is required here, but I did put some validation anyway. Okay, and allow, because basically they just want you to do the basics here. Okay, because this is GCSEs. It could appear in some A levels as well, depending on which school it is. But for grammar school, this would be probably GCSEs. Allow the user to enter the number of passengers. Okay, how many passengers are traveling? Again, no validation is required, but I did put some validation in it. And calculate the taxi fare by charging £2 for every passenger regardless of the distance. Okay, and charging a further £1.50 for every kilometer regardless of how many passengers there are. Output the final taxi fare. Okay, so you should use meaningful variable names, correct syntax, and indentation in your answer. So here's how I started it. Okay, so these are what you see here are just comments. Okay, they're ignored. Oh, so you should know that by now if you want to do something of this level. Then I'm going to import operating system and time. This will help me to clear a screen, restart, and time is for the timer. So when you read a message, for example, you've made a mistake on input an error, and there's an input error, it's going to allow you to read what the problem is, and then after 2 seconds or so, it's going to refresh the screen and give you another chance to type the correct information. Then I defined the function and I named it taxi. Now remember what they said here, use meaningful variable names. Okay, so if my function is taxi, that's meaningful. I mean, if I put here food or buses, then it wouldn't make much sense considering the fact that it's about a taxi company. Okay, now I'm gonna throw these exceptions, which says try doing something, but if there's a problem, then do this. That's what try and except means. So let me expand on this. And then what I did here, I declared a variable and I named it distance. It's a floating variable because remember, you could put something like 2.1 or whatever. Yeah, so it allows what they call decimal places. Okay, so whatever input you're gonna type in here will be considered to be a floating data type, a float data type. So passengers will be an integer. I mean, you can't have 1.5 passengers. It should be an integer. It should be a whole number. Yeah, so that's why I formatted that input. Whatever you're going to type in there has to be in form of integer. If you do something like 2.5, then it's going to be an error. So I did that. This, what you see here, is called validation. Okay, this here, yeah, you are validating data, which means you're making sure that people enter the correct data, but you're actually forcing them to. Okay, then I declared another variable called fare. This one here was about passengers, number of passengers and the distance they are going to cover. or they, how long are they gonna, what's the distance? Is it 2 miles? Are they, then the fare. Now remember, they said here, okay, £2 for every passenger regardless of distance, which means the fare is initially going to be 2 times the number of passengers. Okay, so that's how you write that. Now putting that aside, I'm going to work out the mileage. Okay, now mileage is the distance times 1.5, because this is what it says here, charging a further £1.50 for every kilometer. Okay, so distance times 1.5. Then the final fare is fare, okay, which is £2 for every passenger, plus the distance times 1.5, which is fare plus mileage. Okay, now I understand mileage could be interpreted as something else. It could be, probably mileage could instead be here. Okay, and this could have been maybe fare 2 or something, or extra fare. But anyway, you can change it in in your code if you want to. Now the final fare, I'm gonna change this to 2 decimal places, or you could call it 2 significant figures, or whatever you wanna call it. Okay, so display the final fare to the nearest 2 decimal places. Okay, so I would say this can remove that, it's irrelevant. Nearest 2 decimal places. Okay, print. So we're gonna convert final fare to the nearest 2 decimal places. Okay, and to do that, we are going to first of all put a new line. But this, what you see here, it means you're gonna print this dash 30 times. Okay, then format final fare to 2 decimal places, but on a new line. Okay, put it on a new line. So we're gonna try and separate everything that is above, or everything that's been typed, with a dash, a dotted, it's like a dotted line, and then later on we're gonna type the rest on a new line. However, if there's an error somewhere, okay, this is what's gonna happen. We are going to print incorrect input. We're gonna say there is an incorrect input, and then what? And then we're going to set the timer. Okay, we are going to wait 2 seconds and then clear the screen. Now there's another code for this. I think it's CLS or something like that. It depends on which Windows or which platform you're using. So this may not work on some platforms. Alright, so you might want to find a different code for clearing the screen. And then after doing that, it's going to call this function taxi. This is gonna call itself. Okay, it's called a recursion when a function calls itself. So if there's an error, it's gonna say incorrect input, clear everything on the screen, and then call back the function, so it runs again. This function here, the one we're in. So that's what function taxi does. And after doing all that, we are then going to, now we've coded the function taxi. Now we're going to call that function here, just to initiate the program. So this is the answer for question 1. Yeah, that's the answer for question 1, and that's why you managed to see it running here. Let's try it again. Please enter distance. If I say 5.1999988 something kilometers, okay, how many passengers? I did 11 passengers. It's gonna convert that to 29.78. okay, but if we try the calculator here, look at this, 5.1888955. that's a distance, yeah, times 1.5. that's a figure you get. Okay, now 11 times £2, that's 22. So we add plus 22. You see, it could have been 29.78343325, but it eliminated all of this and it made it 29.78. Yeah, it makes it so easy to count money. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed my video, and thanks for watching. See you in the next video for question 2. It will be about converting values to lowercase. That's exam question number 2, GCSEs. Okay. Thank you.